Teresa, and the title of our presentation is Happy Literacy Day, a fantastical trip of the things he did say, the footprints of Dr. Seuss. Good morning, class. Happy Literacy Day. It's March 2nd, Dr. Seuss's birthday. Today we're going to look at the rights and responsibilities Dr. Seuss valued. We divided them into 3 chapters of his life. So come on our journey. We'll take you today a fantastical trip of the things he did say. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Chapter 1. The beginning of the foundation. The right to be a unique individual. To go outside of the box. Dr. Seuss said, "Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive that is youer than you." He also said, "Why fit in when you were born to stand out?" Dr. Seuss was born Theodor Asteisel, the son of German immigrants. His mom read to him and his sister every night, just like your parents do for you, but she read books like the Goobs. The Goobs are gluttonous and rude. They gug and grumble with their food. They throw their crumbs upon the floor, and at dessert, they tease for more. He credited his mother for his sense of rhythm and humor. He credited his dad for giving him his first set of pencils and encouraged him to draw. His dad also gave him a dinosaur footprint and said, "One day we will be extinct, but we can leave a footprint in the sand." As a child, he was a loner, preferring his pencils in his imagination. That was probably because he was a German and in American society during World War I. He was teased mercilessly. Kaiser! But in college he was voted least likely to succeed because he didn't see things the way everyone else did. He did become editor of the humor magazine. It was then he began to submit under pseudonyms or secret names, one being Seuss, his middle name. After college at Dartmouth, he went to Oxford to be a teacher, like his dad wanted. But he met his future wife, and she convinced him to drop out and choose his own direction. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. So he tried political cartoons, advertising, even writing a book. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. 27 rejections from publishers. That's more than J.K. Rowling. Too different from other juveniles to warrant publishing. Until a friend took a chance on him. This was something not like other children's books. It celebrated imagination. His next book had more of a traditional moral. Can you guess what it is? I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. During World War II, he wasn't drafted, so he volunteered in his first Hollywood division under Frank Capra. He teamed with Chuck Jones, who later developed Looney Tunes to animate private snafu films. Because conventional ways of training the GIs were not working. He used rhythm, imagination, and lots of humor. This caught their attention and did the trick. Because he was his own unique self, he was able to reach many, but he felt the responsibility to use it to help his country, the country that allowed him to be different. Let's go on to chapter 2, the right to learn in an engaging manner. It was 1956 and post-war baby boomers were reaching school age. Children's books back then were cute, sentimental, and safe. Dick and Jane reigned supreme. Everybody learned to read from them. The perfect Aryan children who always did the right thing. Problem was, kids thought they were boring and unrelatable. Why Johnny Can't Read was recently published, which caused a controversy in the literacy world and proposed a phonics-based reading approach. Dr. Seuss got a challenge from his publisher to write a book only using 225 words, like the words on your word wall. Seuss rose to the challenge, and 9 months later, The Cat in the Hat was born, and the world of children's literature would never be the same. Children everywhere loved it. It was different, something they could relate to. Chaos, with a return to order, and a question to make you think. What would you do if your mother asked you? Would you tell them about thing 1 and thing 2? 1,000 letters a week in the Little Bit form came right from those kids all the way to my door. A new era began, and he published a lot. 1 book a year is what the world got. But kids need to read all on their own, not just to be read to by someone who's
grow.
The next challenge came from a friend with some glee. Write a new book, only 50 words, please.
50 words and no more? Who do you think I am? I worked and I worked until green eggs and ham.
But kids need to read on their own. Look and see. Dr. Suess was inspired to form a new company.
Beginner Books I Can Read was the name of this group. Dick and Jane format updated the loop.
Others would join, writers galore. Keep it simple, repeat, and repeat it some more.
Children's readers exploded. It was fun to read. Dr. Suess thought that's just what we need.
Literacy was always place number one. Perfection, not merchandise, is a song that he sung.
Back then there were books that had more of a voice, a message, a warning to make informed choice.
I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true. Bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you.
These two things bring us to chapter 3, the right to speak your mind. That's called free speech, and the responsibility to use your voice to help warn others around you.
He spoke to the kids as well as the adults, but that met with some controversy and even hate mail from parents. But he thought kids could be talked to on important issues as long as you didn't patronize them. Right, guys? So after the anniversary of the first Earth Day, out came the Lorax. I am the Lorax, and I'll yell and I'll shout for the fine things on Earth that are on their way out. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not.
Also, the butter battle. Grandpa, I shouted, be careful, OG. Who's going to drop it? Will you or will he? Be patient, said Grandpa. We'll see. We'll see.
Yertle the turtle. I know at the top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom, we too should have rights.
Important, here's the who. And even though you can't hear or see them at all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Pro-life used this quote, and Dr. Suess demanded an immediate retraction. He did not like his words used for messages he didn't intend. However, in 1972, Marvin K. Mooney, Will You Please Go Now was published. 2 years after that, under his approval, it is made into a political cartoon, starring Richard M. Nixon, Will You Please Go Now. 10 days later, Nixon resigned as president over the Watergate scandal.
The Grinch. That day the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. What if Christmas, he thought, didn't come from a store? What if Christmas perhaps meant a little bit more?
He did have the strict policy of no merchandising. That changed after his death. Sneetches. That day they decided that sneetches are sneetches. If no kind of sneetch is the best on the beaches, that day all the sneetches forgot about stars, and whether they had one or not upon theirs. The star was inspired by the Star of David that Jews had to wear in Nazi Germany World War II. So let's review the rights and responsibilities or footprints he left us today.
First, the right to be a unique individual and a nonconformist. Imagine if his family had not immigrated here from Germany. Would we have this book right here today?
No, nonconformists were locked up, cast out, beat down, or plain shot. He was born in America, the land that allows freedom of speech and freedom of the press, that tolerates individualism. Look what we have. The responsibility associated with this is to protect that right. Don't take these freedoms for granted, but leave a footprint that improves the world around you.
Second, the right to learn in an engaging manner. The responsibility is to then help improve literacy.
Dr. Suess was hailed as the savior of children's literature, winning a Pulitzer Prize in 1984. The National Educators Association sponsors a Literacy Day each year on his birthday. Parents read to their children, and children read to themselves.
Third, the right to have and express political opinions.
The key political struggle in Dr. Seuss's lifetime was against fascism, which demanded a strict conformity and not independent thinking. Ironically, some parents felt he went too far and his books were propaganda.
Dr. Suess felt that we all had responsibilities to each other, and he would, and he could, say them to all.
All the places you'll go was his farewell advice. You're off to right places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Okay, kids, time for recess.
Out we go to put our footprint in the sand.
'Cause Dr. Suess has shown us we can. What will your footprint